Hello, everybody. Is it February already? Apparently, apparently it is. Hi, Jason. Undershirt is poking out. Oh, hopefully everybody's doing well. We'll get officially started in a few minutes. See if anybody else joins you before we jump in. Oh. Bob, hello. Yeah, not for much. Well, what is it? 9 more days, 8 more days, something like that. We don't have many days left in February. It's nearly March. That is true. Crazy, crazy already. Okay. Sorry. I'm out of it. As always, the giveaway form is pinned to the top, so you can click on that, fill that out so that you get entered to win the giveaway. I got to figure out how we're going to probably do. I'm probably going to walk through the new website and kind of show off what we're doing over there before we get into going over any of the other stuff, just because that won't take very long. And I don't know, I don't have a ton of that to show off, and it's kind of clunky. In fact, it's already getting clunky over there. So clunky in the way that I have to show it off in a way that kind of, I don't want to say doesn't make sense, but you have to basically look at the backside of the site. You'll understand when we get there. So. All right. Hello, Ian. Still Rory's dad against all odds. Wow, that's a long one. Scott, Andreas, hey everybody. If I missed you, we're going to officially get started. And like I said, I'm going to go ahead and do a screen share. And we're going to walk through the new website. Maybe we're going to do that. No, why it's not. Here we go. There we go. Weird. Changed my settings after I set it up earlier today. No idea why that happened. All right, so the new website for Keras Customs is going to be similar to Everyday Keras. We're moving all that over to Shopify. And I've been working on building it out. So it's not live, you can't interact with it, but I'm just going to kind of go through some of the changes and show it off. It's a little bit basic, but the idea around it is to have something that's a lot more functional, and the user experience is more intuitive and just not confusing. So it's more of a simple layout, especially if you've used a lot of Shopify websites in the past. The top is going to have a more of a minimalist menu, I guess is the right term. Not as much stuff up here. There will be, like, we're gonna have new videos kind of in this top section. We're gonna focus, this is just a placeholder for, I just pulled a video that was kind of, that would fit in here. It can't be too big, so this video will be more purpose built, and we'll feature pens there in the future. There'll be a quick navigation bar on the side here that will give you links to follow, as well as the newsletter or any active coupon codes that we'll be prioritizing will be in that section over there. Informational, just a little bit for first timers in here, kind of talk about the brand. We've gotten a lot of feedback about ease of navigation. So this will kind of, as you scroll down, it will be, you know, you want to see everything, all products, focus on rollerball pens or focus on fountain pens. So super easy to go to any of those places directly from here, as opposed to like trying to figure out what's going on. Another video, this might change, probably drop down lower. Although we might have this here to like a feature product. If we have a product launch or something that we're trying to feature a little bit more. Similar to this, this will move up. We'll have a featured product like a monthly bundle or a brand new product or something like that. This featured product will move towards the top. And will likely be a like quick purchase option. So you can purchase directly from this easier than our current website. The whole checkout process through Shopify is going to be a lot more smooth and easy to use. Shopify has this really cool slider thing. There's no images here because we still have to get them, where you will have like one thing on this side, and when you slide it to the other side, it'll reveal kind of, so this will be like brass to copper on a bolt or an ink, and it'll show the transition between the two. We're testing out a bundle, like to bundle your own product here. So this is, I only have bolt pens built all the way out in here, which is why that's featured here. Kind of pulls in the products that are live. And then you can like draw 3 in here. It'll add a percentage discount once that's built in, and then auto apply it. So kind of like how we have the 3-pack, the bolt 3-pack of all the raw bolts, and it applies it, it'll apply a discount so you can add them in here. So this is just an option that I have in here that if we can get it running and functioning properly, we'll have like a build your own bundle type of thing, a bundler where you can, we'll feature 3 pens or 4 pens, or, you know, and they'll get a discount. This is kind of cool where you can use an image to kind of show off the difference between the two, and then you click on them and it will load the product into the right. I don't have these built yet, but if the modals were in here, when you clicked on the different ones, this side here would pop up the product and give you the ability to purchase them. So just multiple different ways to purchase products or to find information on products. Let's see, what else do I want to show off? So the about page will change some, primarily being we've added a timeline as opposed to just kind of talking about everything. This will take you through the pins that we've had in the past, give you kind of a storyline along the way of each of our major releases. So, in terms of pins, not and writing instrument process, like writing accessories. So, not the iPhone accessories, but more of the stuff that we still currently do. The focus of the pen of the of Karis Pen Co. So you can kind of direct people here if they're like new to the product, or you just kind of want to see, we'll add stuff to this as we go on. And then the standard kind of history of Karis will be through here in terms of like walking through. But I feel like the easier this kind of like page through that talks about the pens specifically, highlights them a little bit better at the top, is easier. And then down here there's this kind of goes over the retired products, and if you click on it, it kind of talks about each one, gives you the history behind those products specifically. So it's a little more slick, I guess you could say, than what we currently have. In terms of the capability, not capabilities, but just how it shows up. Same with the frequently asked questions. This page will have the floating contact form on it, so that if your question wasn't answered, you can easily, hey, you didn't have the answer to my question, you put it in here, send us a contact form. Most of the frequently asked questions stayed the same. We're going to update this to remove some of the product in terms of like the pencils and stuff like that. The way the Karis Pen Club products will work is going to be different on this. So I have to make things, I have to run the club differently on here than we do on the current site, because you can't password protect product on Shopify. What will happen instead is unlisted but purchasable items will be sent directly to club members. So you'll have a direct link to be able to purchase those. That will be a randomized like page that won't be crawled by Google or anything else. If you're a member of the Pen Club, you'll get access directly through an email to those products, and you won't need a password to access that. There will be this page which will kind of go over the club and show off specifically a lot of the previous releases. In fact, we'll likely expand this more to have like a section of this that has like a page through, like you're flipping a pages of like a catalog, a virtual catalog that will show expired and potentially upcoming club products. So, so that people can see, oh, these are the products that were released to the club in the past, and here's a few of the ones that we have planned for the future. I still have to figure out how to bring over the blog and stuff like that, but for the most part, much of this page, much of the website in terms of like the way that it's going to look is done. Now I'm really just focusing on getting the products and push the wrong button. Bringing over products and orders, like we did with Everyday Keras. Now, with that, I will say there's going to be I'm going to do my best to bring over everybody's accounts. That seemed to function pretty well with the Everyday Keras when we brought over the accounts, and people were able to sign up and have new accounts and bring over a lot of the information. As far as the orders, existing orders are concerned, we're probably going to archive orders over 2 or 3 years because of the volume that are on there. Bringing over, sorry, what's going on? Oh, there we go. Bringing over as many orders as we have on Keras Penco is not going to be, we're not going to be able to do that. I've already looked into that and it's just not going to be possible. So we're going to import, we're going to only archive what we have to. If I can get, 3 years then worth of orders pulled over from the WooCommerce site to the Shopify site, then I'll do that. I'll try to do as many as I can, but it really depends on the number that it will allow us to import over without causing any issues. So there may be some legacy orders that get dropped. So when you do log into your account, it should still list with so the plan. So the plan is to import all of your user accounts from WooCommerce into Shopify first. So it'll bring all of your information over, which it did all that properly, and then to bring over the orders in the second time. So it'll list your orders potentially, but it should list all of your orders, but some of them won't have all the information in them. So I'm still trying to work that out. Like I have to use a plugin to do all that stuff, and it's a little bit. The one we used for Everyday Keras, because that site wasn't very large, it worked for Everyday Keras to bring that from WooCommerce onto Shopify, and that same one is not going to work for Keras Penco. So I'm looking at other options to try to bring over as much as I can. So I will do the best that I can to keep as much of your information and orders as possible. So it's just kind of whatever we're able to do when it comes down to it. Okay, so that's kind of the website in brief. There's not, most of it is pretty much done in terms of the way that it looks. I don't know that I'm going to change very much more. I just have to add, we're going to update some photos for the front page and do some more videos that'll be hosted on there. And then I'm building all the products and then bringing all the information over. So hopefully sooner rather than later, like in the next month sometime, that'll go live. Excuse me. All right, so I got some stuff to show off. I've shown these off to the Pen Club on Facebook. But since we're going to launch these next week, let's go ahead and show off the brass Vertex grip sections. We're selling brass. We've been selling brass Vertexes now for a while, but we're going to add the grip sections to be purchased on their own on the website this coming week. And I just wanted to, so you'll be able to buy them. Excuse me. So you'll be able to buy the grip sections and put them onto your existing Vertex fountain pens, whether they're aluminum or resin. You'll be able to use them. And I've just grabbed a smattering of previous Vertexes and put them on some of them to show you what they look like. So the brass Vertex grips by themselves are going to be $40 on the site. So not too expensive. In fact, that's like what the plastic grips used to be. We lowered the price on the plastic grips down to $30, and I think the aluminum grips are down to $25. So yeah, so it's gonna look, so those are gonna, it's gonna change the way your pen looks and feels, I think. I was skeptical about these grips on the plastic pens, on the resin pens, but honestly, like they add a really nice weight just to the grip area. And it actually feels really, really good. Like the texture of brass, because it's so smooth, machined so smooth, it's way nicer than I expected it to be. So I've been using that red one with the rollerball tip in it, and it's a dream to write with. They feel great. Right now, we only have Bach versions of these available, and I don't know if or when we're going to add the Jovo versions. I'll have to get with Bill on that. I don't know if we ended up making any this round or not. So I'll have to talk to him about that. And somebody asked about mechanical pencils, Kevin. I don't know for sure. We have more mechanical pencils in the drawers of the currently available ones, and I have some parts and pieces. We ran out of the inserts, which is why we took them down off the site. And we have to buy the inserts directly from Schmidt in Germany. And between raising their prices and just some of the stuff that the hoops that we have to jump through to get those, I don't know if we'll be able to get those. I have to sit down with Bill and run the numbers in terms of how many pencils we still have left in stock versus, and whether it makes sense to buy a bunch of inserts to sell through all those or not. But I would say that it's likely we will release some more, just because I think we have enough of the bodies, pencil bodies, between brass and copper, and then some aluminum ones that we found that are not anodized yet. So we'll probably end up doing another round of 300 or 400 different materials and colors in the future, just to get rid of the majority of what we have. But we'll have to buy some of the inserts to get that done. And because I don't know when that will happen, when we'll buy the inserts, I have no idea when those will be available. All right, so these are good. So the brass grip sections on their own are going to be available this coming week, probably, or next week, towards the end of the week. So probably a week from today. We just have to go through them and get them tumbled and ready to go. And I think Tommy's shooting some photos, but that's basically the only thing holding us back from selling the grip sections by themselves. All right, next, let me just move this out of the way. Show off some new stuff. Oh, hello, Andrew. Welcome. Anybody else who might have joined? Sorry, I didn't say hello, but welcome to the party. Okay, so figured we'd bring back purple. When did that happen? There we go. All right. Camera went out of focus. We haven't done purple and black in a while. So with the retract and the EDK being phased out and retired, I wanted to put some purple on these one more time and do purple and black. So we have some purple and black pens coming up. The Dragon Skin EDKs and then the standard retracts will be probably the beginning of... Well, we just got them back, so it depends on how quickly we can get them assembled in Photoshop. But they'll either be next week or early the week after. So either the end of this month or right in the beginning of March. So super excited for those. I'm not the hugest purple fan, but when we get good purple, like it is really nice. And this particular batch came back looking really nice. It's a super vibrant. Sometimes it comes back and it's just a little bit too washed out, I think. But this batch came back looking really good. And we probably have a couple other pens in purple as well. So these two are the two that we have back right now. That'll be ready to go in the short term. And then I'm probably going to send a couple more pens out for sometime in March for purple. And then the next two basics, the blood orange with black basic, will be a week or a week and a half from now. And then we'll have the turquoise coming in March. So those are both Cerakote. Trying to kind of transition into spring with those colors. Bring a little bit more color to the basic and everyday Keras as a whole. Our next subscription, so the subscribers will get their next shipment sent out in March. The shipment 2, which will wrap up the quarter 1 subscription, and the quarter 2 subscription, which will go on sale at the end of March, will feature a lot of colors. Like we're gonna feature like 2 or 3 anodized pens in the subscription that'll only be available in the subscription. We're not going to put them up on the website. The subscription that we're going to do next, the pens that are in that subscription are only going to be available as a subscription. Yes, Bob, the spring base, these two are, and the one we released today, are all the basic 008s. Part of that is we sold through a lot of the 7s, the raw 7s, and I only have a few available to do in colors, and we're waiting for them to come back from Cerakote and anodize. Excuse me. We happen to get these back first. So that's why we're doing a lot of the 8s. And we got so many requests for this style of a basic with just the kind of more plain style that I did a lot of the Cerakote ones in the basic 008 for that reason. Because so many people wanted just more of a standard looking pen. And then I was like, well, I might as well put a little color on them. So yeah, so most of those are going to be the 8s are going to, the 8 will feature heavily with a lot of the colors. We'll have some 7s, and then I'm going to start sending out 9s in the next couple weeks to get some of those done in colors as well. Which kind of brings me to that pen on the far right. So that's the Jawbreaker. We're going to pre-sell some Jawbreaker pens. I want to do as many as people want to buy, but not get a bunch of them done. The process is kind of time consuming for Jawbreaker. And even though it's like really popular, I don't want to have a ton of them like just sitting around. They're time consuming and they're expensive. It costs us more to do the Jawbreakers than the standard Cerakote, because it's not 3 times as time consuming. But it is more time consuming for them to do that color, to do that pattern. So we're probably gonna do a pre-sale on these where we'll open up a sale on the Jawbreaker basic, and then we'll sell however many we sell in the space of a week or whatever, and then once the window closes, that's all we're going to do. We'll send them out to get them done. So that's probably what we're going to do for those. So thought of selling the V5 RT refills on your site. Yeah, as soon as I can get them in bulk, order them direct like we do the G2s, because we buy the G2s in like 2,000 at a time, 2,000 2-packs at a time, or 3,000 2-packs at a time to get the cost down. As soon as I can get the V5s that way, I will. That's the only reason we haven't ordered them. Like right now, when I order them around the shop, I buy them off of Amazon, because the distributor that we use to buy the G2s doesn't stock the V5 or the V7 in bulk. So I've asked numerous times. So once they add them, and they said that they're adding more bulk refills, so hopefully this year. On the modal, I mean, it would be disassembling and reassembling the modal. Like we don't suggest that you fully disassemble and reassemble your modal. If you're talking about the basic, we're going to add more colors to the basic. So right now we just have like a few kits available to kind of like customize your basic, but we're going to add more colors over the next couple weeks, or next couple months, in terms of customization kits for the basic on the Everyday Kara site, along with different colors of sliders, and we're actively working on another pen for Everyday Karas. And we're hoping that will be ready by summer. So that'll be cool. So I fingers crossed on that one. But yeah, Bill and I sat down and we're talking about, and Josh, about the next pen for Everyday Keras. So we do have one that we're going to have physical prototypes in the next couple of weeks, in terms of like testing out what we want them to look like and how we want them to function. And then it's going to kind of be based around, it's a similar architecture for the basic, skinnier, shorter, primarily be a ballpoint pen, some differences like that, but it will function similar. You'll be able to swap some of the parts back and forth between the new pen and the basic. So will there be any additional models? Well, I just answered that. So I don't have, so realistically, the basics that I have here are the only ones that are done. Part of the reason, normally in the past, we've had basics done, like when we finished the basic 1, 2, and 3, when those launched on the site, we already had 4, 5, and 6 done. And Josh was working on 7 and 8. But when we came back from our December break, Josh kind of got started on doing prototyping. Well, there's a lot of things that are going on in terms of like business to business machining, but Josh got started on kind of looking at the EDK replacement. So he's been prototyping a pen to replace the EDK, or like how we would even go about that and what we would do, and an updated version of a pocket pen for Keras Pen Co. So because we're using the machines that we make, so we have 2 main machines that we make our the majority of our pens on. One of them was doing production work, and he was prototyping another one, and so we kind of paused the Everyday Keras stuff. So I don't have a lot of Everyday Keras like new stuff to show off, because he was prototyping the next Keras Pen Co. pocket pen, like whatever we're gonna do with the EDK going forward. So, but now we're gonna move into this new like the new Everyday Keras model. So we should have that soon, hopefully. I guess we could try to do that. Like outside of the Vertex, every clipless pin that we've ever done, and has not been a huge hit. So I guess it would be very easy to do a basic without a clip. It's definitely the easiest pen that we have. It's not going to roll off a table because of the button that's on it. It's basically a roll stop. So. Oh, okay. So thanks for the clarification. Vid works. So we are discussing customizations moving forward for most of our pens on Keras Pen Co. I'm not sure if the modal stuff would be that way, would be an option, because while I understand that you like, that's great if you can do that. If there are potential problems with having them assembled and disassembled. One of the biggest one being, well, two being current models of the modals could be disassembled and reassembled. We changed the clip architecture, and we use screws that are a little bit, that are not as, that won't damage the clip screws as much. You can damage the Cerakote that's on the modals, so I would worry about that chipping around that area. But that's kind of just buy everywhere. So we'd have to put something like that up. It's not out of the realm of possibility that that's something that we might add in the future. We really have to think about it, because when we did offer that kind of option for some of our pens, it ended up causing a lot more issues in terms of warranty. People stripping bolts specifically. For a long time, we sold parts kits for the bolts and had a lot of stripped out bolts. But we will be talking about adding more customization options to pens in some way, shape, or form. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that we could add some of that stuff to the website going forward, including modal kits. With like something on the website that would basically be like, hey, if you do this, you could damage your pen, or the potential, like, maybe, I don't know. Well, we've talked about it in the past, and we continue to talk about stuff like that because we know people want to customize their stuff more often than not. Or we have a significant, you're not the only one that likes to customize their pens like that way. I get lots of people that ask about customizing their pen, ordering things here and there. So I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that we add something like that to some or all of our models. So. Okay, so before we move on, continue kind of, this is just Q&A section. Don't forget to fill out the form, the giveaway form at the top. We're like 40 minutes in, so we'll run the giveaway here in a little bit. So, all right, let me move on. Let's see, Ultim slider. I don't know if we'll do Ultim. Not sure. We haven't talked about that yet. White Delrin. We're going to do White Delrin for sure. Copper stuff. We are working on a copper basic, copper modal, copper pocket modals. We'll be doing a lot of manufacturing on modals in general, but the copper pocket modal will be one that we do. We're out of a lot of parts, so once we get fully into like production for the Keras Pen Co pens, copper will definitely be one. Any chance we'll see another fountain pen model that takes a number 5 nib? I would say that is very unlikely, for a variety of reasons. When we release another fountain pen, it will almost assured it will 90%, 95%, it will have a number 6 nib. Even if it's the size of the render K, or the fountain K, even if we do like a smaller size fountain pen, we'll figure out a way to use a number 6 nib rather than using a number 5 nib. And the reasoning for that is those pens just don't sell as much. They just don't. And because because we need to buy the nibs in such large quantities that it requires us to expend that much capital, like to front load that much capital on nib expenditures for a fountain pen that's not going to perform as well as a fountain pen with a number 6 nib in it. And that's a similar reason why we haven't invested in buying and developing a pen with a number 8 nib in it, is because we need to expend that capital on the front end and buy those nibs up front to put into the, I guess it would be different if we were still kickstarting products, so we could use the Kickstarter funds to like go buy the nibs and then, kind of do that. But like, number 8 is more likely than a number 5 at this point in time, because we could buy now that Bach has a number 8 steel nib, and we could get smaller quantities of those from somebody else. Like there's a few other pen customizers and nib meisters that buy number 8 Bach nibs and customize them. So it's possible that we could just buy some from them to launch like a number 8 size nib. But even then, the other issue that, for developing any kind of pen that doesn't use a number 6 nib would just be like, we'd need to see kind of like some type of rebound in the fountain pen market as a whole, to kind of branch out and add a number 5 nib or add a number 8 nib. So, and that's just not happening right now, across the board, from everything from all the research that we've done and from talking with other people. We have some ideas on fountain pens that we've been kicking around on different fountain pens, but they've kind of they're simmering in the cauldron at this point in time. Random availability question. Do you have any of the blue Battleworm basic exclusives from the subscription era lying around? We do not. We don't. If for whatever reason we didn't send you yours, contact us and we'll figure out how to make that right. But if you were looking for them, that one specifically, when we sent those out for anodize, we did exactly the number of subscriptions that we had. I didn't send any extras, which was my bad, and I've planned for that in the future, and all the ones we've done since then, we've sent out extras. But that one specifically, we didn't send any extra ones out for. Got it. Okay. Yeah, I don't have any extra ones available. Like, we are going to be doing more anodized basics. They'll be in small numbers, like the Cerakote, but we will be adding more like select anodized like basics on the website over the next this year specifically. I don't know. We'll probably add four or five probably to the site between now and the end of the year. Specifically, that'll be able to be purchased on their own. But like I said, the next subscription that we'll launch is going to have at least 2 anodized basics in the subscription. So there weren't, well, yeah, there haven't been, the reason that there aren't very many available is there haven't been many anodized basics at all, like we did. However, I think the first subscription, there was a little over 150, I think, and then the second subscription, which had the red one, was it the red one? Yeah, the red one for the second was about the same. It was somewhere around 130, maybe a little bit less than the first one. Then the brass subscription, we did gray ones. So we've only really done the Battle Worn Blue was part of the first subscription. The red was part of the second subscription. Gray with a copper button was the third subscription. And then we released a very small number of blue during the holidays. And then the black tactical turkey. So we've done 5 anodized colors so far. And the tactical turkey, we did 200 pens of that, and I think we have 12 left in stock right now, something like that. So yeah, so we just haven't done that many. We've done more Cerakote than we have anodized. And there's just more Cerakote colors, which is why I've done that. And so, yeah. Okay. All right. So any other questions before we wrap up today? Once again, don't forget, fill out the fill out the giveaway. I'm going to run that here in a second. Excuse me. The Thunderhead, where we do like, it's like gray, brass, and black. Is that what you're talking about, Ian? Any chance of Jobo nibs in the future? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what we're gonna do with Jobo nibs. We still have a few available. We just don't have any pins for them. I'm not going to rule it out. It really just depends on what we end up doing. I wouldn't say we're not. We won't. I'm not going to say we're not going to do more Jobo pins in the future, but right now it's just kind of like in a holding pattern, because I have like 30 Jovo nibs. And then I have some Decograph, and I think I have some Decograph Jovo grips in brass and copper, but I don't have any pins to put them on. So chances are we will do some more, not a ton, and I don't know. And moving forward, I'm not sure what we do with the ink. I don't want to like, I would say that it's more likely than not that we will at least do one batch of ink grips that accept the Jovo nibs in them. Probably the next time we do a production run of the inks. So yeah, I probably, but that's something that Bill and I would have to sit down and talk about. Okay, so recently joined the pen club, went to the quarterly coupons. Yeah, so great question. The quarterly pen club coupon. So the first pen club coupon is going to be going out next week, along with the first pen club exclusive and an early access. So pen club members, if you're a member of the 2026 pen club, which everybody from last year was grandfathered over, and then some people bought into it. I think you're one of them, Braden. All that stuff is going out next week. I have the pens back that are going to be the first exclusive, along with the first early access pen, and the coupon code will go out this coming week as well. So, and then there in March, the end of March, we should have another pen club exclusive towards the end of March as well. So. Okay, let's run the giveaway. I have the giveaway winners. I already set it up and we've run it. And your winners for the giveaways are Maria Prater and Bogboy131. Congratulations. If both of you wouldn't mind sending an email to paul@kariscustoms.com, that would be with your shipping information. I will send out your winnings next week. And while we do that, are there any other questions before we wrap things up? So the coupons are valid through the end of the year. So the coupon codes that we released in 2025 all had an expiration date of basically they expired December 31st or January 1st, so they do expire. So the last one, yeah. Do you think you'll do any more pens with the divot grip? I'm not sure if we'll do any more with the divot grip or not. Actually, we probably will. We probably will. I would say I like that grip section. We just haven't machined any like modal / bolt grips since we did those. Like we did all those at the same time. We did the hive and the divot and a bunch of like the tiny like experimental ones. Josh did those all at the same time. So the reason we don't have any more is that we sold through all of them. But yeah, I would imagine we would do some of those. All right, let's see here. Any other questions before we get out of here? All right, everybody. Thank you for joining me. If you have any questions, that you forgot or that I maybe didn't answer, you can always put them in the comments or shoot me an email. To the two winners, Maria Prater and Bogboy, please send me an email, paul@karascustoms.com, so I can get you your prize. Thank you for being here and spending some time. I really appreciate it. And we will see you next month for the March live stream. Hopefully by that time we have the brand new site. We're going to have some cool new stuff. The next basic subscription will have been put out. Probably have some teasers on upcoming new releases. Blue anodized. We may do, so the reason we haven't done a lot of modals, you're not seeing a lot of modals, is we're out of stock on modals. So if you have modal questions specifically, like I don't have any parts to send out. So modals, we should see an influx of modals come back and be available in sometime in the summer. Like I don't have any modal uppers. I don't have any like for pocket modals or standard modals. I think we have some brass and maybe some copper of the standard size, and that's it. So the reason that there hasn't been a lot of modals recently, or they've been in very, very small numbers, is because we're basically out of stock of all of the ones that we made in the last production run. So we're probably 4 to 6 months out on new modals being, on any large scale modals being back in stock. So that's why we haven't seen that. So just to answer your request, Andrew, we'll have more modals in the summer simply because I don't have any to send out. So, but that pen is not going away. We're focusing on that pen will be, something that we continue to keep around. It's not going to be discontinued. We're not going to retire it or anything like that. We just don't have any. So, all right, everybody. Thanks. Yes, the pen show G is at the Penn Show. If you're in California, close to somewhere around LA, you can see her, and I think her mom's with her right now. So see the two of them. They're at the Penn Show having fun. Go say hi to them. Otherwise, I will see you guys next month. Sorry that daylight savings time. I'm telling you guys, sorry about the daylight savings time. Watch the replay, Eric. If you have any questions, just shoot me an email. Thank you for spending some time with me today, and we'll see you